Namaste, viewers, and welcome to Amazing Vedas with Dr. Parikshit Singh. Thank you, Dr. Singh, for joining us. Once again, we are going to talk about Indra. What a magnificent Vedic, I wouldn't even call him deity, but a force, a power of the will, of the enlightened will, of the illumined mind. And we've been talking about the so called decline of Indra, which also coincides with the decline of the human intellect and the capacities of the human mind to seek out the absolute and instead, get completely entangled in earthly pursuits of power and profit and pelf and domination and so on and so forth. Anyhow, while we were talking, I was also thinking about the shift that we were discussing last time. Now look at the emergence of the pastoral deities, from the anthropological point of view, though once again, Sanatan Dharma cannot be reduced to any archaeological or sociological construct. So with that caveat, I want to advance these ideas that think about Balarama. Balarama is a figure with a plow. So he symbolizes the beginnings of agriculture. And agriculture then allows for the surplus production of grain, the storage of grain, and it gives rise to a different kind of civilization that we found in Egypt, in China, in ancient India, where there were surpluses, and then you could build huge monuments. People could work throughout the year because of the stored grain. And similarly, Sri Krishna is also a pastoral deity. That's why they are brothers. And he represents the cattle economy. You might even say, without a trace of irreverence, that Sri Krishna is the original cowboy of the world. Okay. And he was also very well known for, cohorting and consorting with the cowgirls, as it were, the gopis. Now, Sri Krishna, by the way, has this tremendous standoff with Indra, according to the, Bhagavad Puran, which is the source of all Krishna worship, because Indra is reigning day and night. You have almost like a flood-like situation. He's striking the denizens of Gokul and Vrindavan with his thunderbolts. And here's a little lad, a brave little lad, who leads his people to this cave he has found in the mountains. Everybody is safe. The floods reside, not reside, but recess or recede, and the whole community is saved. And the myth then becomes that Sri Krishna holds the Govardhan Parvat with his little finger. The point being that the earthlings, the people of the earth, can raise their fist, so to speak, against the mighty heavens. And again, many myths of Krishna, stories, legends are associated with defeating Indra. He brings the Parijata tree from heaven to earth because one of his wives, Satyabhama, wants it. So, this whole clash between the earth and the heavens, which, by the way, we see in Buddhism in a different form and in Jainism, where in Jainism, the jins are people, the Jainas are people who have become, as it were, Arihantas. They have defeated all their enemies. And the word jinn comes from Jaya. They are the Jayans, those who have attained victory over their senses and over all their passions, as it were, Kam, Krodh, Mad, Lobh, Matsarya, etc. So they've become victorious. And when they become victorious, the deities come to worship them, to serve them. So you have the Tirthankar, a big figure, and you have all the deities, Lakshmi, Saraswati, holding a fan, and the Chamar. So the deities that of the Puranic deities, in a way, become almost those who are worshipping this human being who has risen from the earth. Similarly, the great Gautam Buddha, he has the Bhumi Sparsha Mudra. His left hand, he touches the earth. Right hand, he raises an Abhay Mudra. He's telling everyone, I found the solution to human suffering. And, O earth, you bear witness. Let the heavens listen to the words of the Tathagat. It's a victory of the human being. So to me, it's very Vedic because the human being rises, you know, to cosmic powers through their own struggle and tapasya. But then it gets reinterpreted. It becomes like the Buddhists are fighting the Vedists and they don't like sacrifices, whatever it is. We don't want to get into the politics of it. But basically, in this conflict of earth and heaven, they want to show that earthlings actually, you know, give a good account of themselves. They're not, diminished, cowardly, and pusillanimous, but they rise, in great strength. And this is what Yogeshwar Krishna is with Partho, the Dhana, the Dhananjaya, and the great hero. So basically, the gods favor the brave. This is the old Roman idea as well. We have it in India. But what happens to Indra in the process? Certainly, this is not the Vedic Indra we are talking about. This is not the jealous deity of the Greek pantheon, Zeus, who's punishing Prometheus for stealing fire. We have an Indian Prometheus, by the way. He's not punished and he doesn't steal fire. So, what I'm trying to say is that our understanding of our own human past, I'm not talking about a Hindu past or a Greek past or an Indo European past, but the human past has got so muddled up, chronologically mixed up, because the Puranic age, which in a sense corresponds to the Greek and the Latin, Roman mythology, gets all mixed up, and the classical deities, the transcendental gods, the omnipotent, omnipresent, Abrahamic, jealous, whatever, Jehovah, we don't want to call them many names. So those deities, as it were, supplant uh, the beautiful, life enhancing powers of nature, which got personified and deified in the Vedic period as our own potencies and powers. So, those Vedic deities were utterly and entirely different, as we've been trying to suggest. And they get so mixed up with the later mythology. And in effect, they confuse us. Modern people, Hindus who go to temples, offer something to the deity, hoping for something in return. So, in a way, we want to reconnect you, viewers, with the different, completely different, I don't want to call it even pantheon, but the completely different world of the Vedas. So, without further ado, let's go back to a deity we've, or a god or a power or a deva, a shining one we've come to appreciate so much in our own podcasts and our own conversations, Dr. Singh. Agni first, we did so many, but now Indra. So I request you to read your post on X on the 19th of August on the great Indra of the Vedas, viewers, not the later Indra.
So, well, very briefly, I'll read this. This is Rig Veda, first mandala, fifth suktam, the ninth Rig, and Akshitoti Sanedima. Akshitoti Sanedimam Vajamindra Sahasrinam Yasmin Vishwa Ani Paunsyaha. Indra, whose increase is undiminishing, may he enjoy this thousandfold plenitude, he in whom abide all manliness. This was translated by T.V. Kapali Shastri, another great Vedologist or Indologist, student of Sri Aurobindo himself. So, yeah, absolutely. Here it shows the immense power, as you can see, and he grows in plenitude. He grows, and he's a universal power, and that is, the message that we get from this extremely powerful. And I think we should continue this in our next discussion. Another favorite of mine. Look at the power of Indra. The Veda suddenly shows us the immense range of Indra's strength in us. This Rik is poetically very satisfying. The last pada is breathtaking. In whom is all the strength of the world. Look at the immense possibilities this Rik opens for us. Normally, we don't associate bliss with intelligence, but if you bring them together, what happens? Indra grows without limits. That is why it is critical that we bring the heart in joy in dhyana. Doesn't Sri Krishna say something similar in the Gita? Bhava and dhyana, ananda and jnana may not be separated.
So
So
wonderful.
let us discuss it
Oh,
in the next one.
exactly. We
Um,
have to wind up, but I only wanted to
yes,
say, by way
yes,
of conclusion, that please remember, viewers, the Vedic deities are not fixed. They
yes,
expand and contract depending on what we do with them because they are our own powers. So
yes,
Indra can expand if you feed him with your own, tapasya, the agni, the effort, and then he can contract. If you yourself, as it were, shrink and narrow your own vision, narrow your own intellect, become dogmatic and rigid, basically Indra is contracting. Your indriyas, your your senses and your sense potencies and capacities contract. So you and the deity are so interlinked. So these are not fixed entities outside, captured, preserved somewhere, but they wax and wane, in terms of your own, should I say, your own offering of yourself and your own highest offerings of the spirit will make these devas strong in you and in the world outside. So, with those words, we bring this episode to a conclusion. Thank you, Dr. Singh, for once again taking us on this exciting journey with the Vedas, into the Vedas, and then with the Vedas onto the future. With those words, thank you, viewers. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and see you soon. Namaste.